Hey, I'm Mark, and this is my story. But before I go any further, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, do all the YouTubey stuff, you know what you're doing. So I'm Mark, I grew up in Devon. My fun fact about myself is that I used to work at McDonald's and I freaking loved it. But right now, I am the guitarist in the band Amongst Wolves. Pop rock for the win. When I was at high school, I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this stuff, but I used to compare myself so often. I would just look at other people doing like sport or doing music or just in the same subject or just like how funny they were or anything. I would compare myself all the time and I would always come up short. It doesn't matter if maybe I was actually better at them at a subject or better than them at a sport. I would still always compare myself and be like, oh, but they're better at this little bit or they're more entertaining here. And it used to really like bring me down because I would always be leveling myself up to other people, always coming up short and always coming away feeling like really sorry for myself and just feeling like I had nothing to offer the world. It actually left me in like a really weird place with my self-esteem, like how much I believed or loved myself, because I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I was always looking in one place and seeing like excellence and then looking at myself and just seeing like a waste. But actually, through my faith, through being a Christian, through learning about what God says about me, I've learned that actually I don't need to compare myself to other people because God made me to be exactly who I am. And sure, I suck at loads of things, but that's fine because God's made me to be great at some stuff that maybe other people aren't so good at. And that's awesome. We all make God's plan work because there's a plan for everybody. There's a purpose for everybody. So it's okay to not be the best at everything. That's totally fine. That's like how it's supposed to be. Instead, be who you are, excel at being who you are, because that's what God said should happen. He created you for a plan and for a purpose with a reason in mind. When he imagined you, he was like, yeah, I know why I'm making you because there's a reason, there's a purpose for you. And so for me, when I started to learn about God, when I started to figure out who Jesus was and what it meant for me, it meant that when I looked at myself, I was no longer a waste of space, but I was an intentional part of God's design. It meant I was here on purpose. It meant that I was great at stuff because God had a plan. It meant I sucked at stuff because that wasn't part of it. That's amazing. And I know it's the same for you too. If you feel like you're comparing yourself to your family members, to your friends, to celebrities, to someone on your social media, like whoever it is, don't worry, it's okay. There is a plan for your life. You are here on purpose and God has got gifts and abilities that will blow people's mind that right now, maybe you just think are totally normal. But actually, you are phenomenal. You are important, you are significant, and God loves you so much. So be who you are, excel at being who you are because that is how God designed you to be. And if you've got any more questions about any of this stuff, maybe you're struggling with comparing, maybe you don't feel like you're good enough, why don't you message the Hyatt or message Amongst Wolves? Both of those things are fine. And we'd love to chat through, love to pray with you with any of the stuff that you're going through because you're worth our time and you're worth God's time. That's awesome. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.